Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth from stampscrapandmore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. And thank you for joining me today on this time-sensitive video tutorial. I'm saying time-sensitive because it is Sunday, February the 5th. I will be uploading the video sometime this week. And as you know, February is the last month of Sale-a-Bration. And what that means is on February the 1st, Stampin' Up! Released 10 new items that they are adding to the Sale-a-Bration offerings. So for every $60 spent before shipping and handling in Canada, you can pick one of the $60 offerings. And for every $120 spent before shipping and handling in Canada, you can get two $60 offerings, or you can select the $120 offering, which is the Eden's Garden bundle, which is a stamp set and a die. So today we're going to be using the stamp set. I'm going to be showing you a card that is inspired by Frenchie. And I'm also going to share with you another card that's using the same bundle and also using the stamp set and the dies. So let's get started, and I'm going to share with you the flyer, and then we'll get in and make the card. So this is the flyer, and you'll see here are the 9 items that are available. Everything from kits to punches to embossing folders to paper ribbons. So that is the flyer. It's also been posted on the blog at stampscrapandmore.com. So if you want a close-up look, you can see it. And here is the bundle. That's the Eden's Garden stamp set and coordinating dies. I'm going to share with you. Here are the dies. Here is the stamp set. So we've got floral image, and then leaves. Dear friend, how are you? My heart is tied to yours. Tug if you need anything. Hello there. Sending hugs, and let's celebrate everything. These are the coordinating dies, and I'm going to show you how these two work in a sample card that I did the other day. This I posted to Facebook, so you can go over there and check it out on the Stamp Scrap and More page. There is the edge, so that is this edge right here. This banner piece right here, this purple banner piece, is this one. The banner for hello there is from, any guesses, the stylish shape dies, which are my favorite. And it fits perfectly onto that banner. And then there's some little purple leaves that are under here, which is this one here. Oh, and that stamp is what I call spastic stamping. And it's just this stamp repeated over and over and over again, which is kind of what we're going to do today as well. And there are the dies. And let's get into the card. As I mentioned, I have Frenchie to thank for this card. This is, who in a million years, who would have thought that this stamp gives you this sort of sunflower? It would be really done, really pretty in orange and yellows. Really, really pretty. But I wanted something that said sending hugs a little bit more muted and thoughtful. So we're going to use a piece of basic white. This is the thick basic white. It's a base of a card, so you know me, I'm anal about that, so it's always thick. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. The first layer is soft suede, and it is 5 1/4 by 4. And then the layer that we're going to be stamping on is 5 by 3 3/4. You're also going to need, guess what, from the stylish shape dies. Hands up if anyone else is fed up with me using the stylish shape dies. The third smallest, and you're going to cut out a piece of Post-it note, a piece of basic white. We're going to use the soft suede stamp. I'm also going to be using the sending hugs. I also have that mounted. And then probably the most important thing you're going to need for this card is a baby wipe, because every time I made this card, my hands were full of ink. So I've got the Post-it note, and it's sticky, but I want to add a little bit more adhesive to it because I don't want it to move. And I'm just going to find the middle. You know, if you're anal, you can measure it, but I'm going to wing it. I've got my grid paper here, so I've got this a solid line here and this solid line here. So I'm just going to put it in the middle, like that. Like that. Okay. The important thing with this card is whatever edge you stamp on the outside, you want to make sure that you're using the same edge all the way around. You don't, to make it look uniform. So if I did this edge and then I switched it over and I did this edge, you may not get like a circle, like a nice clean circle. So I like this sort of with the little splatter here. I like that edge. You can see where I've got this here. And I'm going to ink this up. And now I am just going to, how big I want my circle, right? So I think I want it that big. I want it sort of to go to the edge like that. Doesn't look great, does it? Like it looks, doesn't look great at all. And then I'm going to go around. And you're going to think, Elizabeth, how did you get such a nice gradient of color? You're just going to keep going around and around. And you're going to be filling in as you go. So here, I'm a little bit bigger here. So I'm going to go around. I'm going to take this flower here, or this leaf, and I'm going to do it so that it's extending up. See this? I've got like a gap here. I'm going to take that same flower and I'm going to extend it so that it's filling in that space. And just keep going around until you're absolutely happy. And yes, it's going to get darker, right? And you can see the center. This is why I say have a baby wipe, because if you touch anything, it's not dry. It's sort of ink on ink on ink. And I've got it bigger here, so I am going to put a little bit more over here, just to fill it out so that it looks uniform. And a little bit more up here. What do you think? I think I'm going to take it and run with it. Oh, I'm going to put this aside. Let's put that aside for a minute, and I'm going to take out my circle that I've already die cut out using the Style of Shapes and the Sending Hugs. I don't know if you've noticed, but I talk really fast, and I am trying to slow my talk down because when I watch it back, I get stressed. So I thought, oh my God, if I'm stressed, you guys are probably stressed as well. So I'm trying to slow it down a little bit. So if you're wondering what's wrong with me, that's it. Okay, so Sending Hugs. Like there. And there is the Sending Hugs. And I'm going to put that aside as well. I am going to close up the ink because I actually did really well and I don't have any ink on me. But it's when I go to take it off of here because this is still wet. So it's just going to take you can take scissors or take your pick tool or whatever, and I'm just going to gently lift this up. If there's a little bit of ink on, adhesive on here, no big deal because you're going to be covering it up anyhow. And I am tearing that paper slightly, so I'm folding it so I don't get ink on my fingers at the same time. All right. Okay. Now, here's the basic. Here we go. Here's the soft suede. I'm going to mount the soft suede onto here. And then I am going to make a billy bow. And for those of you that don't know, I'll show you how to make a billy bow. And yes, I call it a billy bow because I've told this before, there was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. She retired. She actually fully retired and left Stampin' Up! But I used to follow her. Her name was Billy Moan. So Billy, I don't think you're ever going to watch this, but if you do, you've inspired me and I still use your name. It's a bow she used to make. So I'm going to adhere this onto here, but this is still not dry and I'm impatient. So I'm going to put the adhesive on here. and do it this way. And again, it's got the matting on all four sides, even space on all four sides. That. Without touching the center. And I'm going to pop Sending Hugs. I'm going to pop that up using dimensionals, and look, I'll be doing a happy dance soon. Not yet, not yet. Happy dance is when I finish off the whole roll, the whole sheet of dimensionals. I do a little dance because it makes me happy that I don't have any partially used sheets left. And yes, I do try to use up my sheets. Every corner, every edge. Okay. And you also need some glue dot for the bow. I'm centering it. There we go. Sending Hugs. I actually love this. It's so simple. Got my linen thread. I am taking 8 inches, I guess. 8 inches. Yeah. Taking 8 inches. Now I'm going to take the linen. If the linen thread ever retires, you're going to have one sad demonstrator. I use it a lot. So I'm going to take 2 fingers and I'm leaving a tail like this. And I'm taking 2 fingers. I'm going to go 1, 2. However big, however fluffy you want the bow. If you want to do 3, 4, go for it, but I'm only going for 2. Then I'm going to bring in my 3rd finger. 1, 2. I'm going to grab it here at the top. And now I have 2 large loops and 2 small loops. I'm going to take the large loops, meet the small loops, push it into my finger and thumb. I'm taking the piece that I had cut off. And sometimes I can do this without incorporating my mouth, which I'm going to do right now. You're going to do a double knot here. You want it nice and secure. Trim off the edge here. And now you've got 4 tails, so just bring the tails. I've got to get them. There we go. There's the tail. I want the tails so that they're to pull the tails down the center. So there's the tails like that. Okay. So there are the tails. Actually, this one is stuck behind that loop as well. Sometimes when you pull it, match them to your fingers, they just get out of alignment. And now we've got 2 big loops and 2 small loops. And to make them even, you can pull them left and right and just fluff it up. That's a billy bow. Here we go. Everyone has their own way of doing bows, folks. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. I just love how this looks when it's put on a project. There I go. I'm going to use 2 glue dots like this. 1 and 2. Billy's business name was Rambling Rose. So she was in I think the southern US. If anybody, I don't know if anyone knows her, knew her, but I used to follow her. Okay. Like that. So there's the bow, and I am going to trim off. I love the linen thread because it's wrapped round. It has a natural curl to it, and it just sits really pretty on cards. And then last but not least, my champagne rhinestone basic jewels. And I'm just going to put 1 right there. Like that. A special card for someone special. So Sending Hugs. So that is using the Eden's Garden stamp set, which is free right now with a $120 purchase in Canada. and that's the coordinating dies. We're not using the dies in that project, but just goes to show you how you can take one stamp and do something totally different with it. I hope you enjoyed that card. Again, this is Frenchie inspired with a Billy Bone bow. Take care, happy stamping, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to help you. Take care. Bye.